Hi, it's Cam here. You don't elect politicians, you hire them. To unpack this concept, we must first think of a democracy as an enterprise, a business, let's say. In every election cycle, you're hiring folks to run this enterprise. In other words, they work for you. And in exchange for them governing the resources you've entrusted them with, you agree to pay them. Note here, I didn't say govern the citizens, I said the resources. Let me clarify what I mean by resources. These are natural resources, oil, gas, forestry, etc., as well as the ones the citizens contribute the most, taxes. They are to defend and steward these resources to the best of their abilities. We also ask them to enact and maintain law and order, as this helps maintain civility between fellow citizens. In doing so, they're to look out for the interests and well-being of all the citizens, not only the ones that hired them. If you don't like the job they're doing, you get to fire them every election cycle. So, while you and I can complain all we want about the civil servants we've got, we must face the fact that we've hired them. Of course, some of you at this point are saying, hey Cam, I didn't hire these folks. I wanted to hire the other guy. Well, that's fine. You're off the hook if you lived up to the responsibilities I'm about to lay out. And others of you are saying, hey, I didn't hire anyone at all. In other words, I didn't vote. Great. Then I'll leave it to you to tell the next generation you're partly responsible for the bankrupting of this enterprise and that they're screwed. Now, for those of you who are still tracking with me and are beginning to wrap your heads around this concept, let's take a look at what's demanded and expected of you to run this enterprise we call democracy, shall we? I'll give you a hint. It's really no different than running any other business. First off, you would never hire anyone without doing your due diligence, would you? For starters, wouldn't you want to see their resume to gauge their experience? Wouldn't you want to know what they feel qualifies them to work for you? Now, they may not have necessarily done the exact job before, but what life and professional experience do they have that would lead you to believe they could handle this one? Once you get past this, wouldn't you at least conduct job interviews, talking to each of your prospective employees, engaging what they were all about, posing questions that were the most important to you in the day-to-day running of your business? Now, like any good employer, wouldn't you follow up on them once they were hired? Checking in with them and providing feedback. Wouldn't it make sense to do the occasional performance review, pointing out areas of success and those needing improvement? Now, I'm not saying you need to do this weekly, but once every 4 years doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, as your employees would be engaged in a free-for-all sort of like they are today, no? Wouldn't this level of involvement help keep them on track and ensure they strive towards accomplishing what was most important to you as their employer? Do you think they would perform better if they knew someone was watching and holding them accountable? And if he or she wasn't satisfied with what they were doing, they would ultimately fire them? I'm thinking yeses across the board on these questions, right? Now, if your employees were squandering the resources you were giving them, wasting company time on useless things, would you be fine with that? Wouldn't you ensure they got the most out of every dollar? Would you be fine with them stealing money out of the till? Would you simply say, well, that's just the way they all are? Would you be okay if some owners got more profits than others, profits that they weren't entitled to or earned? If I had to guess, I'm thinking the answers to my questions are likely a big fat no. So in closing, I realize that a country, province, or municipality isn't completely like a business. And there are sometimes decisions that need to be made that have nothing to do with the bottom line. However, why should our expectations, both of those running it, the civil servants we hire, and those of us doing the hiring, the employers, be any less? Anyways, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate any feedback, comments that you have. You can follow me on Rumble, as well as you can follow my locals, cambrard.locals.com, and I will see you next time.